guys, and welcome back to another episode of Federico Talks Watches. Today, I'm going to do the opposite of my last video and talk about 5 watches, entry-level to brands, that there really is a quality difference between the entry-level and the main product line. Thank you guys so much for watching last video, by the way. It's doing just great viewing numbers. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Of course, before we get started, wristwatch check. Today I'm wearing my Panerai Radiomir Black Seal, one of my first loves in horology. I still think it looks absolutely killer. Loving the styling. And of course, a little side note, you guys may remember when I tell the story how I got into watches, how I fell in love with this enamel-dialed Breguet. We actually just got that Breguet in stock at delraywatch.com. One of the most beautiful dress watches ever made, in my opinion. I do want to keep it, but unfortunately I have a business to run, and I can't just buy watches whenever I want. But it is in stock, and it is the watch that started it all for me. Hopefully it goes to a good home. If you guys want to check it out, link in the description below. But yeah, guys, 5 watches that I think there's a large quality discrepancy between the entry level and the main brand production. Now, if you guys own some of these watches, you know, it's all relative. Of course, this is based on my opinion, but please realize that a lot of these are actually cheaper, much cheaper than the regular production models, or the non-entry level models, rather. So you kind of get what you pay for. And these are in no particular order. The first one is 2 lines, actually, of Longines. The Longines Grand Classique and the Longines Flagship. Grand Classique, quartz, gold-plated, very small watches made predominantly for the Asian market, not very easy to find here in the US. Not much to say here apart from, you know, it's a $40 watch that they're selling for a grand, or a little under a grand. But we can skip over that. The Flagship, on the other end, are mainly mechanical watches, ETA 2824s and 2892s. Not bad watches, sapphire crystals, but extremely simple cases and bracelets held together by pins, cases that are all finished in high polish, usually not a lot of detail, very simple dials. When you look at the Longines Master Collection, or some of their Avigation and Aviation watches, that's what they're capable of. This Flagship just looks like a much more expensive Tissot. Once again, not saying it's a bad watch, but there's a big difference between Longines' higher-end and mid-range model and the Flagships. The second one, and I'm sure everybody saw this coming, Tag Heuer Formula 1. Guys, I don't want to get into I don't want to be accused of bashing Tag Heuer. I actually think they make some great watches. I love some Carreras. I love some of their Monacos, but the Formula 1 quartz movement, even though they make it automatic now as well, plastic movement spacers, cheap bracelets, it is the entry level, and there is a significant quality difference between a Formula 1 model and, let's say, a Tag Heuer Carrera Jack Heuer edition, or a Monaco. Once again, cheaper movements, cheaper finishing, not a lot of detail. You're going to see a pattern arising with my complaints in this video. Third is a watch which is actually quite good, but you can tell there was cost cutting, and that is the Iwc Portofino. Lovely watch, beautiful dress watch, same alligator strap, all one finishing in the case, once again, so not too detailed, but a beautiful dial. But this is the only IWC watch that uses a Sellita movement. The Mark 18, which is slightly more expensive, uses an ETA 2892. They're both time-only watches with dates, so why does one use an ETA and one use a Sellita? The only reason I can think of is cost-cutting. And there you go. I mean, I think, you know, the main part of IWC's collection has gone in-house right now. There are some lower-end ETA models, but this takes it a step further and brings a Sellita into it, which a Sellita is a clone of an ETA, but it is less expensive and arguably slightly lower quality, so you can definitely see that this was positioned to be their entry-level model, and there is a difference. Now we have a watch I actually quite like, but the high end is so high end that there's a huge discrepancy. And that is the Chopard Mille Miglia, the watches with the 2894 and ETA Valjoux 7750 chronograph movements. Nothing wrong with those movements, great watches, but when you look at the Iwc collection with Geneva seal movements, micro rotors, crazy complications, and the collection, the Iwc collection is ever growing, you can tell there's a big difference between the standard entry-level stuff like the Mille Miglia and the Iwc collection. However, I actually quite like the Mille Miglia collection. Very, very handsome watches. And last, we have Montblanc. The watch manufacturer that owns Minerva makes some of the best chronograph movements out there. The guys that pioneered a perpetual calendar module on top of an ETA movement for a crazy, ridiculous price. Mainly an ETA-based manufacturer, even though they have some very high-end movements, their low-end, which I believe is called the Montblanc, is it the Heritage? I have to look it up, but basically they're around $1,300, $1,400. You can tell there's a discrepancy there. Sellita movements, alligator straps are a lot thinner. Dials mainly with printing as opposed to applied numerals. Single finished cases. Once again, not a bad watch, but you can definitely see the difference between their entry-level and their higher end, whereas yesterday's video was about entry-level watches that you can't really tell much of a difference. Today's a little bit of the opposite. Not all of these are bad watches. Quite the opposite. I like quite a few of them. But the purpose of this video is to point out the differences so you guys can tell how it's different from the entry-level to the higher end. Anyway, guys, that's it today. Shorter little video. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really does help. And don't forget to subscribe. Guys, thank you so much, and take care.